Okay, you are here live. Okay, you're not here live, but I'm here live and you're here via recording, but you're here with Ms. First. And we are going to be talking about adding and subtracting real numbers. And let's start with integers. Now, this is a very somber moment because I'm going to tell you something that may hurt your feelings and may put all of your beliefs that you've had in the past right out the window. Are you ready? You may want to be sitting down for this. There is no such thing as subtraction. Ah! Yeah, there's no such thing as subtraction. I know you had a really great first grade teacher, really great kindergarten teacher. You probably loved her or him, but they lied to you. Now, what do I mean? I mean, even when we saw something as simple as 5 minus 3, really that is 5 plus a negative 3. We are always adding. Sometimes we add positive numbers, sometimes we add negative numbers, but we're always adding. Once you get this through your head and understand we are always adding terms together, you are going to be so happy and it's going to make your life so much easier. So let's get started with some examples. 3 plus 2. Really, Miss First? I thought I was in algebra here. Okay, let's go back to the basics because I want you to get this image in your head that will help you for some more complicated integer problems. Let's say that you have a house. Okay, and we're talking about 3 plus 2. I want you to always remember yourself standing here. Maybe you're in the kitchen. I don't know how your house is set up. Maybe you're in the kitchen, but you are in your house. We're going to call this ground zero, floor 0. When you are going upstairs, you're in the positive area of your home upstairs. And if you end up downstairs, that's the basement. That's the negative basement. Now, I'm sure your basement is wonderful, but when I was growing up, my basement had the scary furnace, and it was kind of damp, and it was always dark, and it always had that one ominous flickering light. So regardless of how your wonderful basement is, I want you to think of the basement, not yours, as a negative place. Upstairs is warm, it's airy, you can smell your mom's apple pie. That is the positive upstairs. Every time we have a positive number, we're going to walk upstairs. So positive numbers, we walk upstairs. Negative numbers, we walk downstairs. So if we have 3 plus 2, we are going to walk up 1, 2, 3 stairs. I don't know why you're getting shorter as you're walking up the stairs. Just go with me here. And so we just walked up 3 stairs. Now we're going to walk up 2 more because this 2 is a positive number. So we're going to walk up 2 stairs. So now we say to ourselves, this is our final location. Are we up in the positive area of our home? Yes, we are. So our answer is going to be positive. And how far up into the positive area of our home are we? We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Now, we don't write positive numbers with a positive sign. That's just assumed. So our answer is just 5. Now, I know what you're saying, Miss First. I already knew 3 plus 2 was 5. Bear with me a second, okay? Now you're all chill on your ground floor. Okay, we are going to deal with 3 minus 2. Wait a second. There is no such thing as subtraction. So the first thing we must do is rewrite this as 3 plus negative 2. So we're going to start with our first number and we're going to walk up 1, 2, 3 stairs. That's our current location. And now we're going to walk down because it's a negative number. We're going to walk down 2 stairs. 1, 2. And you will see our final location is in the positive area of our home, so our answer is going to be positive. And where are we? Oh, we're one stair up into the positive area of our home, so that's positive 1, and we can write this as just 1. Did you see that? She's using camera tricks now. Okay. Now we have 2 minus 3. Oh no, I don't know how to do this. I'm completely confused. Just relax. The first thing we always must do in math is relax, and then we move forward one step at a time. Okay, so just relax. Okay, remember there's no such thing as subtraction. So we need to rewrite this as 2 plus negative 3. Now we're going to start moving around. The first thing we're going to do is walk up 2 stairs because that's a positive number. There we go. We just walked up 2 stairs. Now negative 3 means we're going to walk down 3 stairs. 1, 2, 3. We end up in that scary basement. Again, this was my basement growing up, not yours. I don't want you to develop a fear for your current basement. So here we are. We are one stair into the negative basement. So because we ended up in the basement, we're negative, and we're only one stair into the basement. So that is negative 1. Now we have negative 3 minus 2. Uh-oh, no such thing as subtraction. Let's rewrite this. Negative 3 plus a negative 2. We're speeding up here because we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Negative 3, we're going to go down 3 stairs. 1, 2, 3. There we are. And now we're going to go down another 2 stairs. 1, 2. And we end up in the negative basement. And how many stairs down in the negative basement are we? 5. So our answer is negative 5. Now the only other rule we need to remember is that subtracting a negative, imagine these 2 negative signs are flying at each other, one this way and one that way, and they're coming in together and they crash and they turn into a positive. Okay, so when we have 2 negative signs right next to each other, and it doesn't matter if there's parentheses, it doesn't matter if there's not parentheses, if there are 2 negative signs right next to each other, they're going to crash into each other and make a positive. So subtracting a negative number is the same thing as adding. So write that in your notes. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding. So here real quickly, I start out on my ground floor. I go down 3, 1, 2, 3 stairs. I go back up 1, 2 stairs. This is where I end up. I'm rather negative. I'm 1 floor in the basement. So the answer is negative 1. Now, I want you to always think of this example when you're trying to visualize. I do not want you to memorize things because memorization, you're just going to end up forgetting it in the long run. But these are the rules that we're following. These are the rules that we're following. If we have different signs, if we have numbers of different signs, all we're doing is taking the difference of the signless numbers. Now this is what I mean. So let's say I have negative 12 and I'm trying to add this to 3. Well, this is a negative number. This is a positive number. So they're different signs. So I'm looking, I say, okay, well my signless number here, that would be just 12. My signless number here is just 3. I'm going to take the difference. Well, the difference between 12 and 3 is 9. But my answer is going to have the same sign as the largest signless number. So 12 is my largest number without a sign. We could also say absolute value if you're familiar with absolute values. A signless number is simply an absolute value, but 12 is the biggest signless number, and there's my puppy barking. 12 is the biggest signless number, and it has its sign is a negative, so that's going to be negative 9. Now, you can test this out on the stairs And you will find out he is going to end up in the basement. But when the numbers get bigger and bigger, you're not going to be able to walk up and down those stairs without taking about 7 years to do each problem. Now, what if they have the same signs? Well, let's say we have negative 12 minus 3. Oh no, you don't. There's no such thing as a subtraction, so that's really adding a negative 3. So here my signless number is 12, my signless number is 3, but really they both have the same sign. So we're going to take the sum of the signless numbers, which is 15, and the answer is going to have the same sign. Same sign as which number? Doesn't matter. We started out knowing that they have the same signs, so that's negative 15. If you have questions about this, post them in our discussion board. Just reading this may have instilled fear in many of you. If that is the case, if you got that funny little feeling in your throat or in your tummy that makes you feel like you're going to be sick, we need to stop and do this. This is very important. If just seeing this number gave you fear, I want you to stop and inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and remind yourself they're just numbers. Because if you have fear, you are not going to be able to learn. So you have to address the panic before you try to learn. Be sure to always take that step. Now, when I am multiplying, I know that I go straight across. So I have two fractions. I don't need the same denominator. That's the beauty of multiplying. And I go straight across. 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 4 is 12. And I always simplify. Otherwise, I'm going to get points off. I always simplify, and that's going to be 1/2. Dividing, we have this beautiful thing when we divide, and it says the reciprocal, oh my goodness, dividing by a number is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. And I think I just went into a different lesson. It's all good. You'll be a little bit ahead. Wonderful. So if I have 2/3 divided by 3/4, well, first thing I'm going to do is change that. Multiplication is simple. So I am going to change this. I'm going to take the reciprocal. Ready for the reciprocal song? This is even before my time. Upside down, you're turning me, you're giving. Okay? Upside down, you're turning me. And it's always the second number in the division problem. So this problem would be 8/9. That's already simplified. Bam! Let's go to adding and subtracting. You're going to follow the same rules that I just showed you before, but we have to remember when we add or subtract fractions, we have to have the same denominator. So if I have 2/3 plus 4/5, that's all fine and dandy, but these guys are not the same. The fastest way to do this is just to multiply them together, or you could find that least common multiple. In this case, the least common multiple is just multiplying them together. So I can make common denominators using the number 15 because 3 times 5 is 15. Now I say to myself, what did I do to 3 to get to 15? Well, I multiplied 3 by 5, so I have to do the same thing to the numerator because I want this fraction and this fraction to be the same fraction. They're just dressed in different clothes. Now, what about this guy? What did I do to 5 to get 15? I multiplied him by 3, so you're going to do the same thing to the numerator. Bum-ba-da-dum, I got the same denominator. So now I'm going to add my numerators, and your denominator stays the same. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum. But Miss First, what if we're subtracting? No, you're never subtracting. If you were subtracting here, remember it's the same thing as adding a negative. So if you're subtracting, you just say 10 plus a negative 12. Well, that's going to be -2. And if you don't know why that's -2, you need to do a little rewind action. And I believe you would do that right about there. I think it would be right about there. You need to hit a little rewind, do a little rewind action. And that's going to be negative 2 over 15. Post your questions in the discussion board, and I'll see you soon.